Wait, are we actually going?
Yes, we've been going for 5 seconds.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, we're all mixed up here. That was the thing. I'm disappointed we didn't get your countdown on recording.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see a person do a mix-up on themselves.
Yeah.
And then catch themselves in the middle of that mix-up and go, wait. That didn't come out right. Anyways, yeah, episode 340 of the Sugar Mouth Lounge. Pink, Addy.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I tried to talk while I was drinking water.
You fool!
It went up my nose.
That's how people die.
On this week of the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, Alex drowns himself live on air.
I waterboard myself.
He breaks into the Pentagon, and I ride a llama. And then just roll the fucking Top Gear music.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So anyway.
Pink, how's the Pentagon?
Oh no! Nobody's told me anything about the Pentagon. It's messed up.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'll say for my part that waterboarding myself, I thought it would I thought it would bring answers. That's what the folks back in the military told me. But no, so far I've waterboarded myself thoroughly and come to no new answers. They said there was something else I could do involving my butt, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh no.
Coffee enema.
Oh! Yeah. Anyways, so, Pink.
Yeah!
The fuck is the deal with your YouTube channel, huh?
Well, the deal with that is I forgot the password, so I can't get in, so now, until Google emails me the password, that account is just locked forever. Nothing's gonna come out on it. It's just gonna be in archive mode for the next 30 years. And then 30 years from now, I'll randomly log in one day and guess my password correctly, and then I'll have access to it again. And I'll look back on that with fond memories, and I'll see the last liked YouTube video I had was the video about this nutria here. Or is that I'm not sure what that is actually. There's a thumbnail on my homepage that's either got a nutria or what are they called? Those South American big ass guinea pig things. I don't remember. That's a story for another day. But anyway, what will be uploaded on my YouTube channel when I remember the password will be more Super Mario Advance 2. And that should be it. That's all I've recorded so far. That's all I plan on recording so far. So it's going to be a whole week of Super Mario Advance 2 until I finish the game, which probably won't happen this week, maybe not even next week, but the week after that, I will have probably wrapped up that series, depending on how many worlds I choose to skip or not to skip. So, yeah.
All right, Addy.
Well, still no new review. I have recorded everything for the Shadow the Hedgehog review that just needs to be edited, but I'm currently, I'm supposed to be at a furry convention right now, It is.
Oh,
yeah.
It is the fault of public transport that I cannot be so. Going to and from the con takes me 6+ hours every day.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, if I actually decided to go to the con today...
Both ways or one way?
Both ways.
Okay, I was going to say, there's no time to be at the con otherwise.
There's barely time to be at the con as such. Yesterday, we were there for, I want to say 3 or 4 hours at most, and... Yeah, it was a fun time, but I spent more time on a bus or on a train than I did at the con.
And that's
you got
no
to see a
fun.
lot then.
It also doesn't help that like the trains they do these things. They do these very lovely things where they like announce when a train will come, and then it doesn't, and then they delay 20 minutes, and they delay it another 20, and then they don't tell you that they've actually canceled the train, and the next scheduled train will come instead. And then once that comes,
Yeah, because if they say that the train is canceled, then people will get pissed.
and then once
Then they'll ask for refunds. We can't have that.
And then once the next scheduled train comes, then I don't know how it is over there, but over here you don't just pay for a ticket. You pay for a ticket, and then you also pay for like a reserved seat. And so your reserved seat thing, like for the ticket, from what I can tell, just works for whatever train that's on that line. The reserved seat is specifically for the train that you're actually going to go on. So if they silently cancel a train that you're supposed to go on like this, then you get into the problem where multiple people will have the same seat reserved.
Oh no.
Great.
Yeah. Also, never mind that like yesterday when we went up to the capital to go to the con, the car that they gave us was like, I don't know, like it was a second class car from the 80s. Like
Oh.
it still had the whatchamacallit, the like little smoking trays, even though you are prohibited from smoking on the train.
Ooh.
So, you know, great. Like it's supposed to be 2 hours to get there, but it was more like 2.5, 3, which is what it usually is. And then
Yeah.
and then the fucking transit is just like, okay, so it's 2 to 3 hours to get up there, an hour by bus to get to near where the con place is, and then like another 15-30 minutes of walking, which is great.
Ugh.
So yeah,
I like walking, but not that much.
so yeah, that's basically why I haven't been able to edit the Shadow the Hedgehog video, because I've been too busy being on a train or a bus or walking.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, the second channel will have videos coming out, because I made sure that videos will be coming out until I'm fucking dead at this point. But yeah. So, on Monday, we'll find out that Monstro 2 is a whale in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
Then, finally, Plasma Sword.
Plasma sword?
Yeah, Plasma Sword is a, I guess obscure, I don't know, 3D fighting game made by Capcom in the 90s. I like it a lot. Literally, like, it's very, very rarely that I ever hear anyone talk about Plasma Sword. You might know the guy. Actually, I don't know if you know the protagonist, because he was in Marvel 2, but only in Marvel 2.
He's the one that makes the giant robot hand come on screen.
No, that's
I would not
no, that's
remember.
Jin Saotome. That's the other guy. That's Cyberbot's dude.
Oh wait, yeah, my brain turned off for a moment. I'm sorry. I just remember two dudes from Capcom's other fighting games appearing there that I find really strange, because it's not only are they more or less just in Marvel 1 and 2, but furthermore, they also are both from like oddball Capcom fighting games that aren't super well remembered.
Yeah, Jin was in Marvel 1, and then Marvel 2 introduced Hayato from Plasma Sword, and he's just like, he's just Shoto Man, but he has Rekkas and the fucking whatchamacallit, a lightsaber in the form of a katana. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that, and then Perfect Apocalypse continues. It will end sometime in October, namely. But until then, Perfect Apocalypse marches on. And that's my stuff.
All right. On my end, there will be Vermintide continuing, and an intermixture of Samurai Showdown with Addy, and Dead by Daylight stuff that I recorded with Mike in 2v8 mode playing as Killer, I believe the one video will go out tomorrow, and the other came out yesterday. Those are delayed by quite a bit, over a week, I think. Pink, is the 2v8 mode even still running?
No.
Okay, yeah, I think I put that in the description for one of the videos. I just didn't bother with the other. I've given up on writing descriptions for the most part. It's a thing that I quickly realized, like, it's not causing more people to be interested in the videos. I'm just throwing the Let's Plays up for archival sake at this point, because nobody's watching these fucking things. So the description, one of them acknowledges it. The other, the fucking who cares? Who's even going to look at the date of the upload? Come on now. So there you go for that. The Total War channel is just going on a more casual basis. I think it's time I stop having ambitious plans and thinking like, oh, I need to make higher quality YouTube stuff. I think I need to just settle into with what I have done in the past, which is just, well, talk about what I think about what's going on with this, that, or another. And I mean, there is a small but dedicated group of people who watch that, so more power to them, and I'll upload stuff for them. But either which way, that channel depends more or less on whether or not I have anything to talk about, which can sometimes depend on, am I playing Total War at all, which for the past month or two I haven't been. And further, it depends on, well, is there news? Which there was actually news just a couple days ago, and there may be some in the weeks to come, because a couple days ago, the thing they announced was really big and really cool. Well, that was actually quite small, but it's a really cool attention to detail thing that I want to see more of. And they only showed a fraction of it, and we're like, now you're going to have to wait to see how the rest of this mechanic works. It's like, oh, tell me now! And I'll have more to say if they talk about that soon. If not, who knows?
They're making a 40K, whatchamacallit, like a 40K version of Total Warhammer. And one of the mechanics is racism.
See, now that wouldn't be a small that wouldn't be one of the small little details, one of the small little touches. In 40K, that is the game. The Tau are unique because they're the only ones who aren't turbo racist. Everyone else has different turbo racism mechanics.
Yeah, their version of racism gives them different buffs and debuffs. The Tau just flat get better trading with everyone.
So I remember.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work out that way. It does, but nonetheless, I thought it was funny. Part of what was advertised as making Gladius special from Civilization or Age of Wonders or whatever else 4X games was Gladius very proudly advertised no diplomacy. Anyone you are not allied with from the jump, you are at war with, and that's just simply how it is. And when they added Tau, one of the Tau's big special features to their Civ is explicitly called diplomacy. And what it actually boils down to is pay money to make barbarians stop fucking with you. You still can't make friends with the other players. You still have to kill them or they kill you. But now you can use a little bit of cash to tell the barbarians, I'm going to pay you $100 to fuck off.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna, like, you're just recalling the tooltip, and then the passive just says diplomacy. It's just like a square in the top left corner, and then you hover with it and it just says pay me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Excuse me, you pay them. You can mouse over it just simply says, we do negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
All right. So, on the group channel, we've got tomorrow, the 19th, Monday, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Heritage for the Future Part 3. On Tuesday, August 20th, we have Capcom vs. SNK 2 Part 7. On August 21st, Wednesday, Payday 2, Part 24. On August 22nd, Thursday, Last Blade 2, Part 3. August 23rd, Friday, Street Fighter 6, Part 25. And on August 24th, Saturday, Phasmophobia Part 30. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah.
All right. So, we also had a topic for the podcast. And the
No, we
topic,
don't. Wrap it
Shut
up.
up.
We're done here.
Shut up. The topic for this week is what is a choice in a video game that you consider remarkable for one reason or another, for how the choice is meaningless, and it doesn't matter what you pick. And
All right.
I'm gonna say, Pink, why don't you go first?
Well, it's a lovely little cult classic that many people played many moons ago. The game is called Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And
Cool.
and in that game, I mean, spoilers ahead for a almost 20-year-old game at this point. Spoilers ahead for Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
I could
In that
hear
game-
you age as you were in the middle of that sentence. There was the slightest bit of hesitation in the center of that sentence where you went, it's a nearly 20-year-old game at this point. That was a break in the stereotypical Pink enthusiasm. The facade cracked for just a second.
I felt my grave coming ever closer.
Pursuing you in the distance.
The coffin is prepared, but my soul is not.
The coffin is propelled. It has jets.
It's
Hey,
running on two
That catapult, it's on its way right now.
coming along on two skinny like long, thin, powerful legs, like a mimic from Dark Souls.
But yes, Ultimate Alliance in this game swells ahead. At one point, I want to say just a little before the halfway point, two mutants are captured and taken to hell. Those two mutants are Jean Grey and the Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner. And in order to quote-unquote complete this section of the game, there will come a point where you have to choose. You have to make your choice, because you can only save one of them. Which hero do you choose to save? Do you choose to save Nightcrawler or Jean Grey? Does this have any bearing on anything whatsoever outside of a cutscene at the very end of the game? No, dear viewer, dear listener. It has no bearing whatsoever on anything outside of the final cutscene you will acquire. It literally
There's
nothing. What makes it even better is that Nightcrawler is
Yep.
a freaking DLC character on the next-gen versions of the game.
So not only can Nightcrawler condemn himself to hell, but you've left out the other best part of all of it.
Go ahead.
Do you remember what happens if you have Magneto in the party when that choice comes up?
I'm aware of the Magneto thing. I've never actually played through the game with Magneto in that section, so I don't know if that's legitimate or if that's a mod.
I hang on, I'm pretty sure I've seen footage of this.
I've seen footage as well, but if I remember correctly, from my internet searching in 2009 or whatever, I think Magneto simply choosing to save them both because he's freaking Magneto was a mod that was implemented on the PC version and doesn't actually exist in the game.
I feel like I'm losing it. I could swear I'd seen even explicit gameplay guides put in parenthesis at the end. By the way, if you have Magneto here, he can just save both.
This is literally pay to win.
Hold on just a moment.
Yeah.
If it turns out that Magneto can't do that, then I've been lied to for nearly 20 years now. Shit, it is a mod. Goddamn, all these years.
Yeah.
That I have seen countless people treat that as being legitimately just the way the game works.
Yeah. That was
that is crazy. I'm not sure I've ever seen a mod so thoroughly dominate that it convinces everybody that like it's so Magneto can just do that. That's just in the game.
Yeah. I remember I had to look that up as well way back in the day. And for years that was popular theory that Magneto can simply do that. And why wouldn't we accept that as facts? Because why not? But no.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't take it as fact. I always ask the question of like, okay, but it's not regular metal. It's the powers of hell. Why would Magneto be able to What can't Mephisto just say, no, fuck you, Magneto, you don't get to do that here?
That's also a fair point.
Like, Mephisto could just be like, actually, you know what? The cages are not built out of metal. They're made out of bone. And Magneto's just going to be like, well, unless they're Wolverine's bones, guess I can't do shit. Unless we're talking the Magnetos that actually recognize just how stupidly powerful the electromagnetic spectrum can be. In which case, Magneto could just fucking turn Mephisto inside out on the spot for a laugh and then leave.
This is also true.
It's like that one comic where someone realized that by all means, Apocalypse being a cyborg, that's cool and all. But logically speaking, Magneto should be able to annihilate Apocalypse in like a fucking second. And so you do get that one comic where the Apocalypse and Magneto are getting into a fight, and Magneto just waves his hand, and Apocalypse turns into a pile of goo. But I digress. Yeah, that choice, I mean, that's a very cool choice. That's one of the few times Marvel Ultimate Alliance really feels like it's actually trying to do the whole story RPG thing. The role-playing stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a cute bit of irony because, like, when the choice is like, okay, Jean or Nightcrawler, beyond just emotional attachment and the fact that Nightcrawler is generally a more interesting character than Jean, at the end of the day, the choice comes down to Jean's more powerful and could do more good for the world. On the other hand, Jean could turn into Phoenix at any moment. Nightcrawler, the worst damage he can do is he could probably assassinate a bunch of politicians, which it would be the ability to assassinate anyone in the world at any time would be pretty strong, but comparative to becoming a god, an evil god, but then, of course, if you choose to let Jean die because, well, hey, she could become the Phoenix, then the joke's on you because the epilogue says, oh, hey, she didn't actually die. She just became the Phoenix and then killed everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. There is no good ending in the outcomes of either of those choices.
Well, the difference is between whether or not the X-Men get destroyed or everything gets destroyed. I love the X-Men, but at the end of the day, the X-Men splitting up, not even really dying, they just split. The X-Men splitting up, whatever, they'll go on to do new things. If Phoenix coming back and this time having no conscience holding her back, she could just honestly just like, oh, you know what? Earth? Yeah, that past tense. Eddie.
Well, immediately when you asked the question, the first thing that came to my mind was a joke answer, which is Life is Strange, sparing Chloe. The game sucks either way, who cares? But
would you rather kill Chloe or fucking 12,000 people or whatever?
Would you rather would you rather kill all of the people or this bitch? And then it's just like, the thing is, Chloe, it's been a while since I've played Life is Strange, because I actually did play Life is Strange, believe it or not. And
Life is Strange is the last video game I beat before moving to Carolina.
But yeah, it's been a while since I played Life is Strange, so I don't remember exactly every bit. But from what I remember, they didn't do really like they didn't really try to give you many reasons to like spare Chloe aside from, well, it sucks that she has to die. Which, like, yeah, it sucks that she has to die, but that's just like a basic human thing. Why should I spare Chloe personally? You know?
It's not like the main chick Max will never find a girlfriend again.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably find a girlfriend that's less of a dick.
Yeah, and not only that, but if memory serves, if you spare Chloe, then, well, then the universe ends. But I feel like I remember them somehow retconning into that the canon ending is Max saving Chloe, and then somehow not the universe doesn't end, but Chloe just leaves Max.
Oh.
Or something like that, which, like, you know...
That is, in several ways, the worst possible answer.
Yeah.
Where it's simultaneously bitching out on the choice and going, like, actually both get saved, but also, like, the only reason why you would have chose to save Chloe is because you honestly value her relationship with Max more. So, it just didn't. That's delightfully goofy.
Yeah, those games, like, at least the first one. I don't know anything about the other ones, but the first, like, 1 or 2 just really struck me as, like, not really worth my time. So, like, even if the third one was good...
One had a fun gimmick. The whole rewinding so you could go through all the choices again was cool, but...
One had a fun gimmick, but... one had a fun gimmick that was ruined by the writing, I'd say.
It was bound to age poorly.
Yeah. But yeah, for an actual answer, Ghost of Tsushima, the final choice, which is sparing Lord Shimura. Now, what does this change for your game? A cutscene.
Yo! That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I would say that one still has big story implications, but...
It could have big story implications, but yeah.
I would say that one is more meaningful than the Chloe change. The Chloe choice is like the very final one and doesn't imply much for Max going forward because there is no Max going forward. Ghost of Tsushima, it still implies a fair bit for Jin going forward into the post game.
I suppose so, but to me, like, the thing is just like, you know, there's implications of story stuff, but the story is over, so, you know, we won't know if actually anything happens until 2 goes through Shima. And
at which point there will be a canon choice and a non-canon choice.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, there's big implications, but it doesn't really change the world. Like, there's no... If I choose to spare Shimura, and if memory serves, Shimura says, well, you know, I appreciated Jin, but also I'm a samurai, I will have to hunt you. Like, it would be neat if you, I don't know, like, got like a very rare samurai enemy type. That's just a reskin of one of the Mongol swordsmen, but still. Like, you know, just something little to make it change the world a little bit.
That'd be cool. On the other hand, the post game Ghost of Tsushima, it's like, okay, there's like maybe, I don't know, 4 samurai left on the island, and they're struggling to rebuild. Jin would look like kind of a dick for killing them.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's already like considered an outlaw by that point, and I don't know how many samurai are there by that point because I don't remember if the ones that were sent from the mainland leave by then. Like, I don't remember them leaving. Is the thing. At all.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't remember seeing them anywhere either.
They were in one encampment. That was their story. Shimura calls for aid from the mainland, and then eventually they arrive. You talk with one of them in an encampment, and then Jin goes to jail, and they're still there by the time that he gets out. And that's more or less the last time you see them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Like to me, it's just like there's big lore implications for that choice, but at the same time, what is actually in the game is it changes whether or not you like whether the final cutscene has this narration or that narration, and whether or not it takes place like in front of the Golden Temple or Jin's house, I guess, which is just a random part, like a random house in the second or third of the map. Yeah,
all the Sony references.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, like, you know, it is a better choice still than the Life is Strange one. But that's just because they actually like try to build an interesting narrative that will stand time.
Eh.
I think that those are my answers. I can't really think of another one.
All right. I've got two choices. I've got two picks. They're both Bethesda games, and both of them I can run through rather quickly, because I think by now everyone knows them. One is Skyrim. What race do you pick? That doesn't really matter. The only unique thing, like, they got different starting skill stats, but none of that really, like, it's not that big because they didn't want to be able to stop. They didn't want to stop you from building an orc mage or building, an Argonian warrior or whatever. So it doesn't really matter that much. Instead, every race gets their one a day racial power, and that's the one thing that separates them. Is once a day you can press left bumper to gain a little bit of health regen for 2 seconds, but it's one a day, and you have to press a button that you otherwise pretty well never press, or just devote to shouts or something else.
I'm gonna be honest, real quick. I've started at least 3 or 4 separate start files of what was this game called, Skyrim, and I've picked the Argonian every time.
Yeah,
and I didn't know they had special abilities between them, but I do know that the Argonians can breathe under water, which comes in handy, like
never. But yeah, sure.
Maybe. See, 1% of the time, there could be a moment in time where you're getting chased by bees or something, and you need to jump into the river.
Yeah,
except Skyrim's probably super buggy and bees will attack you underwater.
Yeah.
Probably aquatic bees. They're a thing. And quite dangerous now.
In Elder Scrolls stuff, I usually pick Khajiit because they get super jumps, but I don't think they're actually doing Skyrim.
No, because the athletic stat doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, or excuse me, acrobatics.
Yeah, what do Khajiit even get? Drugs in Skyrim?
Night vision.
Oh, yeah.
Toggleable night vision.
Toggleable Kuma. It's on
drug vision will be better. Night vision in a game where it's never dark enough. Like, see, night vision power. Like, we've all played Fallout New Vegas and picked up Cat Eye and thought, oh yeah, that's the fucking chem I want to have to go through addiction for. Cat Eye. You remember all those parts of New Vegas where it's like, God damn, I can't see shit. Let me do some Cat Eye.
So here's the thing, though. I actually remember now. I played modded Skyrim, and it fucked with the graphics. So the game actually was a lot darker. So I got some use out of night vision.
Yeah, I mean, if you mod it, then then the Khajiit's ability to see in the dark is nice. And if for whatever reason you want to try and rock an unarmed build, even though the game does everything it can to try and stop you, then you have to play Argonian or Khajiit because they're the only ones who get any damage bonuses to being unarmed. Other than that, though, it's a completely meaningless choice.
Yeah.
And for my other choice, for my other pick of meaningless choices, like I said, it's another Bethesda game. Casting a wide net here. 99% of choices in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, you got 4 dialogue choices. Straight yes. Funny yes. Questioning yes. Hesitant yes.
Mm-hmm.
We put in voice acted dialogue for the player. We didn't actually want to deal with any of the consequences that come from that. And we didn't want to record that many lines because voice actors are expensive. So, here you go, shitlords.
Voice actors are free.
And well, they will be soon.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
SEG is doing its best. Its best, Pink. You'll get there soon.
SAG is making sure to work faster there. All right, assholes, if you want AI voices, then you'll never get regular voices again. Was that not what we were trying to do to begin with?
No, that's the thing, though. They're not even doing that. Like, they announced that they're gonna do a strike to do that, and then, like, a week later, they're like, all right, here's this AI company. We're gonna let them do AI voices.
Yep, saw that.
Like, they're not even fucking doing that. It's just like, we want you to give us residuals. Not to like the voice actors whose voice models you'll be using. Just give residuals to SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah,
and in bulk.
Yeah, it's old Fran Drescher up there. She's got to get her residuals, or no, she's not getting enough from the nanny. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you know me. Like, what I'm thinking is, what if they made the change of, like, you know, I'm gonna license out. I'm gonna give you like a couple voice samples to make a AI voice of me, and that's what you pay for. And it's lower. It's a lower rate, but it takes me less time to record all that shit, and it's less pain on my. It's less damage on my throat. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna record myself talking normally. I'm gonna record myself shouting. I'm gonna record myself going through all the vowels and consonants. I'm gonna record myself whispering. And you know what? You can buy the license to use these files. Or you can get bent. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting environment to go through, but I gotta mention it was crazy. I saw, shockingly, there's only really a few of them, but there's one modder for Skyrim who actually has gone through with AI voice to try and make the Skyrim characters have actual personalities and things to say. And I mean, Skyrim's voice acting is not creme de la creme, top of the line. It's kind of bland in parts. It's actually kind of worse than a lot of modded voice acting. But nonetheless, I was listening to it and going, shit, this sounds almost exactly like the real thing. Every now and then there's a slight delivery where it's like, yeah, no human being would have delivered that line that flatly in that way.
Are you sure?
We've all heard...
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know. There's been some questionable dialogue in the Bethesda franchises.
Well, that much is true.
Rather.
But there's every now and then an AI will deliver a long vowel in a particularly droning way that no human accent does. Or it'll overextend a vowel in a way that no real human ever does. But anyways, back to Fallout 4. So yeah, it's I mean, there was always going to be some damage going from Fallout New Vegas to Fallout 4, because New Vegas and 4 were made by different dev teams. 4 was made by the same fellows that made 3, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. And 3 was ass.
Yeah, 3 did a very good job of taking Oblivion and putting a Fallout skin on it. However, the story was not good. It was honestly just an East Coast retelling of Fallout 2 without the funny parts or the cool parts.
Yeah.
It was Fallout. We have Fallout 2 at home.
This time in 3D.
Yeah. And this time you can't knock up the farmer's daughter. Anyways, so yeah, Fallout 4 was going to have some issues no matter what, because the writing, I just don't see it being up to par. You know, what few but the good writers Bethesda has are sitting in a room smoking crack and coming up with new Elder Scrolls lore that isn't going to actually be important to the Elder Scrolls games. They'll just be there in the books you can read on the shelves.
It's not even gonna be in the Elder Scrolls. It's gonna be like in a patch note for the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the deal is with Elder Scrolls Online, man. I've been looking at the Elder Scrolls wiki, the USP wiki, one of the last good wikis left on the internet, bless it. And like looking up little bits of Skyrim lore, and then it takes me over to the Elder Scrolls Online lore, and I see that it's fully back into like Michael Kirkbride style fucking crack smoking. And I'm just sitting there wondering, like, okay, does Bethesda just not know that the Elder Scrolls Online guys in the back are actually doing fun stuff with the setting? And not just doing white guys fighting other white guys because of the high elves?
Todd, like ever since they established the room, Todd hasn't entered the Elder Scrolls Online room. There's just, there's just like two guys doing the writing, one guy on coding, and then an HR representative. It's the four of them.
It's such a you don't know the figures that make this media. You can barely even know your family or your friends, so you certainly can't know the people that make your favorite video games and movies and TV shows. But for me, with Todd Howard, like, obviously Todd Howard's associated with a lot of lies related to Bethesda because they march him out there every time. But to be honest, some of the comments that Todd's made, like, when somebody asked him, when are we going to get a game that shows the Dwemer? And Todd Howard saying, never, because then that would ruin the Dwemer and get rid of all the mystique. Comments like that, of course, I don't know. Maybe Todd is Mr. We need to remove everything that makes Elder Scrolls unique and make it as boring and vanilla and marketable as possible. But comments like that make me think that there's a good chance Todd genuinely does have a lot of passion for Elder Scrolls. Not for Fallout, but does have a lot of passion for Elder Scrolls. And a lot of the stuff that's really screwy, like getting rid of attributes, getting rid of classes, getting rid of birth signs, getting rid of like half the fucking skills, making the main plot boring as shit. Part of me questions how much of those are, ZeniMax or Activision. Well, not Activision wasn't around for the development of Skyrim, or Microsoft, whatever. There you go. Activision never owned Bethesda. What am I thinking? Microsoft. But a big part of me wonders how much of those is just corporates, right?
Yeah.
The suits. Especially in the time where Call of Duty and Gears of War dominated. Because I love Gears of War, but that was a time period where the theme of the day was simplification, simplification, simplification. It's part of what I wonder with if there was going to be an Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 sometime this century, would be if it came out now, would they start undoing some of the simplification? Because nowadays that ain't the trend. Nowadays, when people think Western RPG, they're like, oh, give me Baldur's Gate, and that ain't what the direction Elder Scrolls has been going in.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6 will be a Souls-like.
I think there's a very real chance they push in that direction. I think that on some level, a push away from RPG mechanics and towards action mechanics is inevitable. And I'll tell you now, you can look at the Skyrim modding community, and the Skyrim modding community, generally speaking, pushes Skyrim to be more like Souls. I have a mod right now that fundamentally changes the way hitboxes work in Skyrim. Because for those who don't know, which probably everybody, including myself up until I downloaded this mod, part of why Skyrim's melee combat feels pretty derpy is that there aren't per se actually there isn't like an actual hitbox on your sword when you swing it. It's just that when you swing your sword, if there's someone like immediately like in front of you, the game will pick him and be like, okay, he gets hit. If there's 3 dudes in front of you, the game will just pick whichever one's closest to your crosshair and say, okay, he gets hit. And one of the most popular mods for Skyrim nowadays that I have installed is one that changes that to know your sword just actually has a hitbox tied to it that reads throughout the whole swing. Which amusingly does cause issues for fighting like wolves and baby spiders that are now. Then I play in third person, so my character just swings over their head, and it's like, oh, god damn it, I have to go into first person and look down. Small enemies are always such a problem for melee combat in video games. Have you ever noticed that?
Where's that guy from like 4 years ago when we were playing New Vegas to yell at W that playing in third person is suboptimal?
Yeah.
That's generally true. I've especially noticed with Skyrim, the crosshair does not match up when you're in third person. It's a little bit too high because this game doesn't like Red Dead does a trick where it looks like the bullet comes out of the gun in John Marston's hand, but in actuality, the bullet is directed more or less it's being shot from the camera down the crosshair, right?
Yeah.
Which is why shooting generally feels good in Red Dead Redemption, or at least accurate. And notably, also Red Dead 1 had a couple bugs tied to that. There was one time in Red Dead 1 where my horse reared back while I was aiming at somebody in the distance. And John was sideways on the horse, aiming directly at the guy. Unfortunately, as the horse reared, his head came into the crosshairs right as I pulled the trigger. So John shot his gun, and the bullet pretty well went backwards through the air and fucking wanted style curved through the air to zip backwards and nail the horse straight in the skull and kill him instantly.
Nice.
Skyrim doesn't have that. It actually, even though you have a cursor that vaguely is trying to direct to the projectiles you shoot, the fireball you throw from your hand actually comes out of your hand, which means that it is generally, at long ranges, it will be accurate. At close range, it's aiming a little, the crosshair is too high, and you're going to be shooting the floor a lot, which is really lame. And I'm trying not to introduce mods in the middle of my playthrough, but I'm thinking about looking into something that'll fix that, because it's limiting my capability to do magic. Now, if you're talking about New Vegas Melee third-person stuff, yeah, I wouldn't play with Melee in New Vegas at all, because that's crazy. But you do you. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Choices that don't matter.
That's right. The Fallout, anything to say about Fallout 4's dialogue not mattering.
Naturally, Fallout 4 was what we came to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah. I think my highlight of Fallout 4 wasn't even my playthrough. I recently saw someone do a playthrough, and it was largely unmodded, except Kellogg was replaced by a fucking box of cornflakes.
Nice.
And that was great. That's probably my favorite bit of Fallout 4.
Now this is going too far. These mods, they've just gone too far. Come on, Master Chief, we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well then. I don't think any of us have any more answers.
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head to bust out.
At the start of Pokemon, the professor asks you if you're a boy or a girl. This changes nothing fundamentally within the game.
He's just trying to be nice.
The Pokemon are the same. Nothing changes. Nothing matters.
He's just trying to be nice because he's nailing your dad. Your dad, not your mom.
Yeah.
Hold up. Hold up.
That's why he's not there.
Professor Oak is fucking Giovanni.
The main protagonist, the moment they step out of the room, they step out of the lab with their fucking Charmeleon or whatever. As soon as they do, their dad steps out from behind the bookshelf. Is it fine? Is he gone? Yes, honey. Yes, hon, he is. Oh, thank God, we can still keep our tryst secret. He can never know that I didn't run away all those years.
Anyway.
Oh boy! All right. Yep. Indeed. Addie, say bye.
Capybara, that's what it's called. Not a nutria. Capybara.
Yeah, I gotta say, I popped on over to the wrestling thread and I saw that white outfit on Nia Jax again that she was wearing the other night. And Jesus Christ, that doesn't leave much to the imagination, does it?
That's great. I loved it. When I logged in on Instagram for the first time in years,